Hey there, welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today I've got something really special for you. We are going to do a collab with some friends of mine, and we're going to be using the Dollar Tree bicycle wreath. And I'm so excited to share with you that we're going to be doing this with Amber from This Southern Girl Can and Michelle of A Noble Touch. We all have different takes on using this wreath form, and I hope you enjoy this video. So when you go to their videos after you watch mine, make sure you leave them the sunglass emoji. Let's have some fun. Alrighty, so let's dive right into this Dollar Tree wagon wheel, bicycle wheel, whatever you want to call it, challenge with my girls, Amber from This Southern Girl Can and Michelle of A Noble Touch Crafts. We are all doing a different project. I'm working with some Dollar Tree flip-flops, and honestly, I started it off with a regular frame from Dollar Tree, and then I saw this at my Dollar Tree, and I said, this would be perfect for the wreath I want to make. And honestly, I think this is going to make it so much more easy to make. So let's get started, and we'll start by putting it all together right now. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to get the back for our wreath ready right now. This is just a piece of felt that I buy by the yard. I kind of cut it down a little bit so that it would be easier to show you. But all I do is I'm going to cut around so that the back will look nice and tidy, and also it just kind of helps protect the back of the wreath and the door. So, oh, I went a little too over there. But sometimes these frames can have a little pointy edge, and I don't want that to, you know, scratch anybody's door. So I'm going to do this step here. Oh, I was almost there. And have that ready to go when I'm done. I need to get a new blade. Oh my goodness, my blade is a little rusty here. Should probably hold this the right way. Okay, so the next part of this wreath is I want you to take some plastic canvas. It's not really big enough to go over the whole thing, but I'm going to add this for only one simple reason, because we're going to have flip-flops in between here. So this is just going to help fill in that gap. So all you're going to do is you're just going to, you know, outline this and then just attach it with zip ties, and you'll be ready to go. Okay, so I have spent a good amount of time trying to figure this out. And I looked on YouTube. I saw people make these. A lot of people use glue. I can't use glue for this, and I'm going to tell you why. This wreath is going out west, and it's going to be very, very hot, and my it's for my sister-in-law, and she can't have it melting all over her door. So we're going to avoid the glue as much as we possibly can, even the Gorilla Glue, okay? I'm just going to do my best, because this is Nevada. This is in the desert. It's hot. So what am I going to do here? I really like this frame. I think this is the perfect solution. I think you could make many different types of wreaths on this frame. So if you see them, grab them and get them, okay? So I was watching May Made It Crafts, and she did a video 4 or 5 years ago, and she just took pipe cleaners and she wraps it around the bottom, and then when we put it on, we'll wrap it around the top. So that's kind of where I got that technique for that. So thank you, May. I appreciate the help there. So what I wanted to do here is the more I put it together, the more all of this was like touching each other, and I want it to have a better look. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our frame here, or our flip-flop, and I'm going to match it with the other one here, and I'm going to cut it. This will cut really easily. Again, these are Dollar Tree flip-flops. And honestly, there wasn't much difference between a large pair and a medium pair, to be quite honest. So even if you can't find all of the one size, I think you can make it the way that it needs to be. So I just kind of cut straight across and then an angle. So you're just going to kind of put this around and figure that out, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put one color here, and I want to put a blue there and a blue here. So like when you see me here, I'm going to cut that a little bit. And you're just going to make, and they're going to go flying across the room. That's normal. So you're going to see, you want to kind of put it together like a puzzle. And I don't want this to be too big, because I want to be able to ship it to her without spending a fortune on shipping as well. So I'm just gonna look here. So I have my let's see, my flip-flops coming out about 2 inches, a little bit more than 2 inches over the top. So let's put the 2 colors that match, or your 2 coordinating flip-flops on first. So we're gonna take this one off, and I'm gonna get my pipe cleaners here. It doesn't matter what color you use. I have a bunch here that I'm just gonna, they're kind of a hot mess, but that's okay. So this is how May did it, okay? You take your pipe cleaner and you're gonna go underneath that first little toggle that the shoe holds it, and then I'm just gonna twist it. Okay, so let's see, let's make sure we're in the right spot here. I said about 2 inches. This frame is about 15 inches in diameter, so just so you know. So if we add 2 inches and 2 inches, you're gonna have about a 19-inch frame. And if you want to, you can go even more, but we're gonna stick, you know what, let's do, you know what, we're gonna do 3. We're gonna do 3 inches off of the grid, okay? So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go through the grid, or the wire here. Let's take that one off, okay? Here, let's do this. Okay, so I put my frame here, and I'm just, the first ones are probably gonna be the hardest, because you wanna make sure you get it just the right spots, okay? So I'm gonna flip this over. And what I'm gonna do is this. I'm going to go underneath and back through, okay? Let's see, is that about 3 inches? 1, 2, 3, yep. And then I'm gonna go around that top toggle of your flip-flop, okay? And I'm going to tuck it in, all right? So there's the first one. All right, and if it goes around a little bit too much, you know what? I'm just going to pull up on it and then go like this. I'm going to twist it so it will stay put, okay? It's not going to go anywhere. So the next one, let's do the opposite on the other side here. And again, I want to make sure that I'm about 3 inches. This one's a little bit over 3 inches, but you can kind of move it out just a tad, okay? So, okay, so we're not doing quite 3 inches. So you'll know, you're gonna eyeball it, and you're gonna see, okay, exactly how am I gonna make this fit. So I'm just gonna wrap it around, and then you could even just do this. Okay. I want it to be about even on both sides here, so that's about right. I'm gonna go through, let's just go through here like so, and to keep it in the right spot, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna come back around. I'm gonna come back up, okay? All right, that looks good, we're looking good. And then I'm just gonna keep weaving it through the frame until we have it nice and tight. Go up there, and then I'm going to wrap it around that. And really, there's really no right or wrong. You're just gonna, okay, I'm just gonna go through there so that it's not gonna go anywhere, okay? So we've got the first set on. So the next set would be our blue. Let's see here. Already got one here, and I think, yeah, this is the other one, and it already has one in, but I need to cut it down to size. And you're just gonna kind of, you know, look at it and kind of eyeball it. I'm not, again, some of these are large, some of these are mediums, and you probably don't even need all the little angles if we're this far out, if they're not gonna touch, but They may. So I just want to be prepared. Okay. So I'm going to put this one on just like I did these two, and this one on. Okay, so we're going to have a like intermission here, and I'm going to fix an issue that I'm seeing as I do this wreath. And again, if you ever watch me, know that I don't make a whole wreath and then do it again. I don't have time for that, I'll be honest. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to improvise. You can add this if you want. If you don't want to do this, maybe do something else, you can do that too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some 10-inch poly burlap, and I'm going to make 8 petals here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wood burner. I'm going to cut the one side here first, okay, and have that sealed off. This is my wood burner. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I like to use this product. I do suggest using a mask when you use this product. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 11 inches. And the reason why I'm going to cut this at 11 inches is that we're going to make the Dean Michael Daisy petal, but we're going to fuse, and this is a method I came up with a few years ago, or about 18 months ago, something like that. I don't know which one, but what I do is I fuse the mesh together. So I'm going to bring over my petal here, and then I'm going to go down. Now underneath this side is the finished edge. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wood burner here, and this, I'm going to just kind of bring it around here. We're going to fuse the two pieces together. So when I make the petal, it's just going to make a nicer edge and keep it from fraying. Okay, so we're going to make 8 of these petals, and then I'm going to show you how, and see all that smoke? That's why you need to be wearing a mask. Okay, so we're back to the original frame here. And if you feel like these are moving around a little bit too much, let me show you what you can do. Take a zip tie, go through one of the spots that you have one of your toggles, and just run the zip tie through. Now, this can only be done at the base of the wreath, because if you did it up here, then you would see it. So if you want to add a little extra something there just because you want to have it a little bit more secure, go right ahead. Like with this one here, I'll do this. I'll go down this side and we'll come out the green side, okay? So you're just going to find a spot to go down. I think this is the side. Is this the side I had the... There we go. Just got to push it down there. Make sure you turn it the right way, Julie. Go through the grid. Okay. And then I'm going to go through, oh, I don't know. This one has a thing in it, so a pipe cleaner. So let me take some of my sharp scissors, and I'm just going to poke a hole through the plastic, or the foam. Is that what we call it? The foam? I think it's foam. Okay. I'm going to come through here, find the spot that I already put a hole through, and you're just going to run it up there. And then that way I only used one zip tie. Okay, so you can do it either way. If you feel like these are going to move a little too much, like this one, I want to put something there, then that way it'll just kind of stay put a little bit better for you. Okay, so I'll probably go through and I'll add some here, but before I do that, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these petals. Now, originally I wasn't going to add these petals, but then I thought, you know what, this would be a really good way to kind of fill in some gaps and maybe even use less of these. So basically with the Dean Michael petal, I have my fused edge here. I just bend that underneath and I just make my petal. You've seen me do this so many times before, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put it right here underneath and right here, okay? So I'm going to go in, let's see, take a chip clip here and hold that. I'm going to go in about, if I'm measuring by the grid here, 1, 2, 3, about 2.5 inches in. So I'm going to move my one flip-flop a little bit because I want to, remember, I want it to go underneath the flip-flop a little bit. Okay. So make sure you go, and Michelle and Amber's video links will be down in the description box. And I'll pin them in the first comment too. But make sure you watch their videos because they're going to have some good stuff and I think you're going to like it. So I'm going to put one there. And then I'm going to move over here and we're going to put one here. But again, I'm going to look here. So we're going to put kind of the same spot here. I'm going to go underneath a little bit. And have my zip tie waiting for me. I always like to just bend this one under just a tad. I don't know why. It's just me. And then I kind of bend the other one. So I'm going to add this right here. Make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Hide in some spots for us. And I think it'll be a nice little added touch too. You could use any color. I'm using the turquoise because my sister-in-law has a lot of turquoise in her like doormat, so that's why I'm using this color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one here, 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 and here. So 8 petals total. Okay, so I'm going to put those on and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's what it looks like. You could even add, if you wanted to add more petals so that you're, you know, wanting to make it look a lot more, oh, I don't know, flowery, if that's the right word. You could do that, but I'm just going to leave it with this. This is, oh, I think this is an extra large, oh, what do you call it? Flip-flop. And I'm going to use that to my advantage because we have a couple, I'm going to move this little zip tie over there. We have some spots here that I want to try to cover up. And what I'm going to do is I cut this one down and I'm going to move this up a little bit. And we're going to put these on the same way. You're going to have to work through the space. I'm going to be over top of it because I can't cut too much off because then I lose my spot there to anchor the flip-flop. I had to think, what am I dealing with here? So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go, I'm looking at this and it's going to go over top here and that's okay. I'm going to go through my grid here. And I'm going to go back and forth. I'm probably going to even put another zip tie right here to kind of anchor it all in. And I'm going to go all the way through there. So let's just flip this over so you can see what I'm doing here. And what you can do, just kind of gently put my hand through here. All right, so that this isn't going to move around. Just going through. And all these different ones I do a little differently, and that's okay too. And then I'm just going to wrap it around. So there's not like, okay, do it like this and this will work just perfect. You might have to work around it a little bit. So that is going to stay. See, I don't even think I need anything else. So I'm going to put this one, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to measure it and we're going to add it to right there. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing with the pink. We're going to add a pink there and we're going to add a pink there. Listen, I have so many flip-flops from this project, it's not even funny. I thought I was going to use a whole lot more flip-flops in this, but I ended up not using them. So we'll save it for next year for a different wreath, perhaps. But this is what I learned with this wreath. You have to adjust some of your flip-flops because number one, like you can tell these are bigger than these. And you know, you go to the store, you can only get what you can get. And sometimes you got to make concessions. So like when I'm putting this together and I'm trying to put my center in, because we're going to do a center, I needed it to come in a little bit more. So I took off the zip tie, I put a hole in it, and I brought it forward a little bit more. So what is my point here? It's be flexible. Sometimes things aren't going to go exactly as you had envisioned, and it happens to me as well. So I'm just going to make it work. We're going to add it. We're going to push it up a little bit, but this is the way it worked out. We used 4 pairs of flip-flops, and I probably have about 8 more pairs that I'm not going to use. I ended up using poly burlap to kind of add kind of a border for our wreath. You could use deco mesh. If you use deco mesh, I would probably do maybe 2 more petals, like maybe 1 in between, just to kind of fill it, because deco mesh is just a little bit thinner. So I went over to Michael's, and I will have my link for Michael's. I'm an affiliate for them, and you can check out. Michael's has some great stuff, and they have, to me, some really beautiful flowers. And I really like to always check them out. So I found these two and I thought that's really neat, and it's got like this little ring, and I'm not really sure what they, you know, would suggest you use them for, but I thought this is what I'm going to do. I like that look, but I'm going to kind of amp it up a little bit more. I'm going to add some of these petals to this one. So I am going to use a little bit of glue for this process here. So what I learned, I'm going to move this over here, is this is all connected, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh, that one just fell off. This must have been the one that I was pulling on earlier. So I'm going to just kind of bring it out here, and I'm going to just take a few of these, okay? And I probably am going to add some E6000 glue as well, because like I told you, this is going to a, it's going out to Las Vegas. So it's going to a very hot place. And I just want to make sure it doesn't, you know, collapse on my sister-in-law or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these, I'm going to cut this instead of taking this all apart, because I don't want to, you know, manipulate that and have it, you know, come apart. Now, I did not pay $4.99. These were 50% off, so these were $2.50 a piece. So I'll have $5 in my center. You don't have to do this extra step. This is Julie being extra, okay? That's all there is to it. And I'm wearing rings today. I just noticed that because I started this yesterday and I'm finishing it today. So now I have rings on, if you're wondering why the sudden outfit change, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these. Let's see, I need to find my scissors. Okay. And I'm going to, if I can, I'm going to just cut this in half. And then I'm going to be really careful, and we're going to just glue it underneath. And this is Gorilla Glue Sticks. I don't know if this is going to be hot enough, so I'm going to just put a little bit. I think my glue gun is warmed up enough. And I'm just going to move it underneath here. And this is just going to keep adding a little bit to our flower. Again, you can do this with Dollar Tree flowers. I've done that before. You can use this with any type of flower that you want to kind of bulk up. That might be, it might need just a little bit more of something. Just take it apart and deconstruct it. Normally, I would have just deconstructed the whole thing, but because I didn't want to take this off, I'm just going to slide it under there. And by sliding it under here, it's going to kind of make the petals a little bit wider here too. All right, so there's one. All right, so now let's do these. These get really stiff. That's pretty stiff here. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to come back and I'll do this. This is the stiffer part, and we're going to do this as well. Okay, as you can see, I have a much fuller flower. Now, if you had like a Dollar Tree sign, my Dollar Trees are cleaned out, so I can't find any more signs in the middle. But I really think that this is going to be just as pretty, because my inspiration wreath that my sister-in-law sent me and said, hey, can you make me one? It did have little daisies like on the flip-flops, and I thought, well, daisies are summer and it'll be cute. So what I did was I added the extra petals and made it a lot fuller. I added a little bit more glue here. It's the Gorilla Glue. It should help. And I'll let you know if it was a problem in the heat. Hopefully it won't be. What I'm going to do is I kind of was like looking at it and like, what do I want to do here? How do I want to attach this? And so what I'm going to do, I even glued this kind of the little ring kind of like sideways. So basically what I want to do is I want to poke a hole through this plastic here on both sides. All right. So let me make sure I have a spot that I can get under. Yeah, I can get under there and there. All right. So I'm going to be really careful here, and I'm just going to poke a hole. I love these scissors. I kid you not, these were scrapbooking scissors I bought probably 20 years ago. I kid you not. And of course, there were a few years that they were in my scrapbooking supplies. You know how you got into scrapbooking and then it kind of sat in a closet? Yeah, that was me. I might have to use the thing again. I can't. Just putting a hole there. I'm going to be really careful. but I'm going to run it through, there we go. There we go. I'm going to run it through this thing too, so that it won't, even if this, you know, comes apart, it'll still be connected to that. And I'll look on Michael's to see if they will have any more of these, but honestly, if you don't live in a place like Las Vegas, you could probably get away with gluing something like this on as well. So let's see. Okay, so we got that through, and we're going to kind of just do it like we do other wreath centers that I've shown you how to do. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to go find a spot to go through that plastic grid. I think this is going to turn out really nice. Oh my goodness, isn't that pretty? I like the yellow because it goes really good with the yellow. But all right, so let's flip it over, and then you're just going to attach it. You're going to turn it around here and twist it, and then I'm just going to stick it right back in there. And remember, we cut our felt at the beginning of the video. All I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that felt onto the wreath frame. Okay, so but we need to make a hook for this frame. So there's a couple things you could do. You could take some ribbon and have a ribbon here and here and make a little bow and put it up here, but I don't feel like we need all that. I'm trying to think. I did a watermelon wreath, and I did that where you had 2 ribbons and a bow. I will leave the link down below for you guys to check that out. You'll really, if you like summer wreaths, you'll love that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a zip tie, and I'm just going to see, where do I want the top of my wreath to be? Let's see. I think we're going to make the yellow part the top of the wreath. That seems to be like the center or the focus point. So I'm just going to take and go through that canvas and just make a loop. Okay, so here's the loop. That's where they're going to hang it. All right, and if you want, you can take another little, if you want it to just stay put, I'm going to take another zip tie, and I'm just going to attach it to the canvas right here, and that'll keep it laying a little bit flatter. So when she goes to hang it, it'll lay a little bit flatter. So I'm going to just clip those. So I'm just going to take the felt, and we're going to go around this wreath. I'm going to make little holes like so, and then I'm going to take zip ties here. I know this is too big. I'm going to go underneath, and the reason why I'm going to go underneath, it will just hide the zip tie a little bit better. Okay, so if I go like this, and then I just take that zip tie and I go underneath, and then you have a nice smooth backing for your wreath. All right, I hope you enjoyed this project. I enjoyed making it, and I really enjoyed doing these collabs with my friends Amber from The Southern Girl Can and Michelle at Noble Touch Crafts. Listen, if you made it this far in the video, this is what I need you to do, okay? I need you to leave sunglasses emoji, or the little emoji with the guy wearing the sunglasses, and Amber and Michelle's videos if you watch this first and you go to their videos. Okay, so that's what I need you to do. That helps us know who came from whose channel, and it's just really fun to see how many emojis I get. It's a competition. We won't say anything to anybody else, okay? It's just between me and you. Anyways, but if you've made it this far, leave those emojis. Click on the links in the description box below. You'll see a little bar below this video with my picture, and it'll say subscribe. Click that box and it'll drop down, and you'll see all my links to my Facebook, Instagram, and I now have a TikTok, guys. I'm on TikTok, and you can go find me on TikTok. But all my links are there. Make sure you subscribe. I loved having you, and I had fun doing something a little different, and I hope you did too. My link for Dollar Tree is below, and maybe you can find some of these flip-flops there. So until next time, and until next time we do another collab, I hope you guys have a great day, and let me know, tag me if you make this wreath on social media. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.